So then my fundamental question then is to kind of tie all this together is, to what extent do you see a mechanical conflict or contradiction between allowing the open space to do these things and trying to hold baby's hand while he learns his first RPG?
I don't see a contradiction at all. The baby's hand holding is a matter of structure and a matter of clear assignment of what to do when. So really, it's pedagogy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. And again, maybe the holding baby's hand is maybe not the proper analogy. Remember what I said. We are relying on existing capabilities of humans.
Yes.
Right? So I would say that right now, without changing anything in what you've got, you can expand the explanation of a character playing player. God. You can expand the explanation to the relevant person playing a dude. So that they understand, perhaps, that they can do a thing more than what's actually listed. You can provide to the antagonist the role of, look out, it's okay if they do something that's not a move. Make it a move. It's okay. You are empowered to choose how the dice will be applied, like these other moves do. And so just provide the verbal opportunity for those. Perhaps a little bit, you've already said that people are picking up on what muses do, which is good, right? Pointing out that when muses say things, to the people playing, when a muse says something that seems to you usable, relevant, exploitable, inspirational to what you're doing, seize upon it and incorporate it into your next statement. What was a passing flicker of firelight in one muse's presentation, in another instance of play would have turned into, the castle catching on fire. Who knows, right?
Sure.
So I'm saying that I'm not really talking now about anything that we should say, oh my God, they won't get that. That's advanced. That's hard. I'm saying rather the opposite. Let's not forget to tell them these things.
Okay, so I see in a certain sense, has been my just complete obsession with trying to grind the game time down to the smallest possible unit of time. Which
that's
to me,
fair. That's fair. I get that.
It plays in about 2.25, 2.5 right now.
That's pretty long. But I don't think anything I said makes it longer. In fact, it may make it shorter.
Could be. And there are just fundamental structure questions that could be changed, like not have 3x, maybe have 2 or something. I don't know,
right. I mean, that's another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's whatever. But it's just, I don't know, maybe I've been too obsessed with like pick up, play, go, and like.
Well, pick up, play, go has its what's the word I want? It has the error built in or potential of, and that it practically plays itself, right?
Right.
That's
the first thing you're
that's where we're sort of whoa. If the medium, layers, right? If the medium itself doesn't work out, then we have a problem with the medium. If the drive of the narrative doesn't go, then we have a problem. If the mechanics are confusing and contradictory toward what they actually do, then we have a problem. If, more importantly than any of those things, those are necessary but not sufficient. This is definitely sufficient. Is if that sense I was talking about, of that sense of resolve in what you want the character to do, if that doesn't emerge, then we have to, as you say, look for Bang-like content or ways for that kind of thing to happen. Right now, if I had to guess, I would suggest that the antagonist player at the moment is rather weak in terms of gutsy contribution to
Why
play.
is that?
Because they are in the position to provide bangy content. They are in the position to provide the kind of content that makes you sit up and say, oh, that changes everything. Now I know where I stand regarding this stuff. And it's not because what they said has a specific thing that you now know you have to do because it's intrinsic to what they said. What was said is this bangy content can't have an automatic and obvious response that anybody would do. Right? That's not the same. You respond to it as an individual. And people say, this went that way because you were in that chair and nobody else. Right.
Well, both actor and antagonists are very, I guess, thespian-y, if I'm using it the way you're using it. In just that, it feels more like a debate club where it's like, well, the actor has his goal, the protagonist is just going to brute force oppose no matter what happens, and you're role-playing to try and win bonus dice to make a good case, but they don't actually provide any new content at all.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about. Of all of them, the antagonist player is the most well situated to do that, especially if they're doing it with picking up raw material from the muses as it strikes them. Because remember, that's not very self-aware when they do that. They just hear it from the muse and they grab it.
Mm-hmm.
And that suddenly became an important contribution on the muse's part. Whereas before, it was just one of many nuggets. Mm-hmm. So that's the process that I'm talking about. There are a couple of things we can talk about. We can talk about the role of other people. Because there's one thing you're kind of missing here. Supporting cast. And that's huge.
We have Edmund and Morgana, I guess, because they're non-player characters.
That's not quite the same. Supporting cast.
Yeah. People have wholesale brought in characters who are supporting cast. Guinevere's father comes up a lot. Right. And
there's some very important things. I mean, the little cupbearer who stands next to Guinevere the whole time, mutely, who at one point or another speaks up, or a number of like men at arms who are loyal to Arthur, but they're rough and ready and have their own concerns and fears. Right? The point is not to codify all of these ahead of time. The point is for them to be brought in and be given life through activity, particularly of the muses. Mm-hmm. And then the point being that they can be picked up by protagonist and antagonist as substantial pieces of what they're trying to do and of their arguments. Mm-hmm. If I make my case and win by poisoning your most loyal man at arms in our conflict, and my dice win, that's a lot different from me just saying, well, I out-debated you, so I guess you have to agree.
Right.
You see?
Because the poisoned man now is a part of the fiction going forward that affects other characters.
Absolutely.
Right, okay.
And you're going to behave differently now. The way you lost mattered.
Right. And that has come up.
Right. Well, I suggest that is a huge piece of what you need to start considering.
Yes.
Anyway, that's what I got for tonight. I think that's a fair start.
Right? Sure. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to, edit this up, pop it up on Adept Play, and I'll be really interested to see where we go with the next bit.
Sure. I am too.
Yeah.
Do you think the project... Do you like the project?
It's a worthy goal. It's a very worthy goal. I mean, the more of this, I would have said back in 15 years ago, I would have said that this is what all of us should be doing. And you and I have talked about this. Why am I bothering to pitch my ideas to role players of all people, subculturally speaking? Right? Why not? If I'm having ideas about how this is done that go the way my ideas go, aren't they sort of the last people I would go to? You don't go to a superhero convention and pitch your indie pro-drug pamphlet underground comic.
No.
You don't take it to a superhero convention, even though those are the comics culture fans, right? And so, no, you go and you take it to people who are interested in that topic. You have a worthy goal. I support it. I wish I had been more successful at it. And that there may well be, the fight may well be a long haul, and you are providing something that can make a difference in it. You still need some kind of delivery mechanism to the people in question.
Right.
And that's not very easy, ultimately.
Yeah.
But that said, those are all just features of the fight that you've entered. And if your first goal is to make a usable instrument in that endeavor, then that is a worthy goal in and of itself. All right, great. Take care, Zach.
Okay.
Say hi to Jen.
I will, Ron. It was really good to see you.